Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Not Church, where we encourage people to think. I'd like to continue this message on a fine line between lying and faith, or having faith. And first thing I want to say at the very beginning is I'm not mad at Jesus. Me personally. Not mad at Jesus. I'm not mad at God. I don't have a vendetta against religion. And I'm not upset at my journey. I want to be very clear on this. Because a lot of times when people develop different ways of thinking, the general thought becomes, well, God must have disappointed them, or Jesus, they're just upset with Jesus, or we have a tendency to point the finger at the person as if the person can't or should not be free thinking, and or once the person gets immersed in their relationship with Jesus, if they left then, or if they are saying anything different, or if they don't do things in the exact same way, then they must have backslid. That's the common word. They're backslidden. And so I want to dispel the thought that there's any backsliding going on. This is not about backsliding. I just want to be very, very transparent about that. What this is about is education. It's about academics. It's about learning. It's about being willing to grow. And what the scripture says, to be able to grow beyond the milk to strong meat. So when we look at these lies that people tell, and you can camouflage it any way you want, or you can paint a picture to make it look good on the outside, but when you dissect it, that's when you see the intricacies of the thing that looks so beautiful from the outside. Religion looks good from the outside because it's been packaged, and it just wasn't packaged in your lifetime. It's been packaged over thousands of years to look like it does right now. And not just packaged, but packaged and repackaged. So, the pithy sayings that we have today that we call faith are really a derivative of faith to begin with. It's really not even real faith. God can do anything but fail. Well, if God can do anything, then God can fail. If we just think about some of these things that we say, we talk about in Genesis, God uses a man to birth the first person. Really? And we accept these things by faith because it's been taught to us. When we claim healing, for example, knowing that we're sick, how can or would we really deal with the reality that truly we're sick? If we have a economic problem as a people, and we're always saying, well, in heaven, I'm going to be blessed. There's gold streets in heaven, and there's abundance of everything in heaven. then that takes the worry away while we're here, which also takes away the effort to try to do better for your people. And all of it, at least in my eyes, seem to be a setup to keep people bound in many ways. You know, if you think that when you get to heaven, you're going to have a perfect body and you'll never be sick again, being sick down here becomes a little bit easier. My problem with that is, you know, you see in some sect of people having the best medicines, the best doctors, the best, serving the same God you serving, having the same faith you having. But yet, they have the best hospitals, the best doctors, the best medicines. They're living the longest. There's a problem with that in my eyes when it comes to particularly the disenfranchised claiming to have faith when in reality we have nothing. Or we don't have what we think we have. And so this is where my heart just palpitates and it hurts. It hurts because of a lack of knowledge. You know, if we say that we love God, we have to be willing to dive in. You know, God is true. If you believe that, you believe that. And if you believe that, you want to learn as much as you can about God. So then you have some African American and or other minority or disenfranchised persons who are at the lower socioeconomic spectrum saying things like, why go to seminary? Why get more academia? Why get more understanding? That's only gonna dilute your faith. It's only gonna kill your faith. You know, it's only going to make you not believe. My friend, if this is what belief is all about, I don't want to have a part of it. Because there's so much information that we don't know. And we take for granted the academics that's out there. This stuff that I'm talking about, the powers that be have always known these things. You know, they don't have a problem with intelligent faith. They've been walking in intelligent faith. They don't have a problem with going to seminary and preaching to your people and theirs, because they understand what's behind the veil. And what's behind the veil is a lot of history, a lot of rich history, particularly about the people that they would choose to disenfranchise. And that history is very rich and empowering. That history existed long before a book called the Bible existed. In fact, the Bible evolved from the writings of the people that came from the historical era prior to Christianity ever being called Christianity. This is important information to know. But we don't want to know it because we take the attitude, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're broken and you just don't know that you're broken. We're behind as a people. And we're crying equality. We're saying we want equality, but we'll never have it until we're equal in understanding. We'll never have it until we get the revelation that we need to understand our history. We need to understand what's behind that veil. So yes, there is a fine line between lying and faith, because you could be lying and not even knowing you're lying. That's a problem. So again, I'm going to continue part 3 because I could get sort of long-winded with this, but I appreciate you listening to this edition of Not Church. And remember, like, comment, subscribe. And I'm not fussing at you. I really love you. And I know I come across sometimes harsh, but it's just passion. It's all it is. It's passion. I love you. I love God. God is true. There is no lies in God. And I want the world to know. So again, thank you. And remember, it is okay to think. Peace out. Till we meet again.